You're listening to the SClubBeat with Dale and Katey.
Hey everybody, and welcome to SClubBeat. I'm your fantastic host, Katey.
And I'm Dale.
And unfortunately today you can't see us.
No.
So, no.
Like putting on our glitz and glamour. But we are here today to discuss something that's very important to the S2EP community.
Yes, that is Never Had a Dream Come True.
UK version. So
yes.
The distinction we're going to make with this, we're going to have 2 episodes for Never Had a Dream Come True. We're going to have one with our UK bestie and then one with one of our US besties. So today we have the fantastic Mikay, who you may remember from our Bring It All Back episode, which was our first episode way back yonder.
Yeah, way back there.
So before we hop Mikay and Katey, is there anything you want to say about Never Had a Dream Come True?
It's an awesome song.
Hello, friend.
So hi, Mikay. Welcome back to the SClubBeat.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Can you say 1999?
It's been a minute.
Just say
Can I say what?
1999.
1999.
We actually made fun of you in one of the other episodes. I don't remember if we cut it or not.
It was not making fun of him. It was just in awe of him.
So we
nice.
did quote it. 1999.
1999.
I can put on a posher British accent if you'd like me to.
I know, it's perfect the way it is. It's perfect. I'm not making fun of it. Anyway, so we're here to talk about Never Had a Dream Come True, which was originally featured in Artistic Differences. So they played an instrumental of I've Never Had a Dream Come True in Artistic Differences. And then an alternate version was used as the opening theme song for Go Wild, or SClub7 Go Wild. I think
Which is weird.
I would consider that more of like an acoustic version. Like it's more of a calm down version.
I love that version.
I do too. I kind of wish they would put it on streaming.
Yeah, me too.
But
I don't think it worked as a theme song though.
No,
It's just slow.
Not Go Wild.
I don't know. I like it. I like it where you see the little plane and then you see the bird and it's like, oh, it's nice.
Yeah. So it was released as S-Club's Children in Need single on November 27th of 2000. So, Mikay, can you tell us a little bit about Children in Need? Because we have a vague idea, but we don't know like how like big it is over there.
Yeah, so the telethon kind of started in the 80s, right? I think. I don't know when Children in Need started, but I know we have like another one called Comic Relief, which started in the 80s. And I think Children in Need started around the same time. But growing up, the two were very different. So Comic Relief was always about like the comedy aspect of it, but Children in Need, they always featured a lot more musical performances. They both had singles that they released and people could buy to raise the money for the charities, but I always remember I preferred Children in Need because you could always just sit there and watch it all night. It started at like 7 o'clock at night and went on until the middle of the night, and there was just loads of music. And so when S-Club had the charity single, which was like a yearly thing, I think that Spice Girls had Children in Need single, and then later on, I don't know, Girls Aloud and all of the big bands always had one of the charity singles. It was really exciting. And I didn't actually remember this because my memory of Children in Need with S-Club is Have You Ever? Because I was a little bit older, well, a year older, I suppose. And they did this thing with the choirs where they, every primary school or primary schools that wanted to could record vocals to be on Have You Ever? And then they'd like smush them all together and then made this massive choir version. But what I didn't realize until very recently, just because my memory failed me, was that for Children in Need, for Never Had a Dream Come True, they actually had a competition where the best choir could be on stage with them on the night time. So during the performance on the night, it was always a Friday night, they had this choir from a primary school in Norfolk, I think, who sang along with the chorus. And, you know, when I watched that back, I'm like, if only that was me.
So on McKay's point, there's something that I did want to reference in this, and it's something I'm probably going to reference again in the Have You Ever episode, is S-Club is the only band to ever release 2 Children in Need singles. Only band to ever release 2, and they did them consecutively. So they did Never Had a Dream Come True in 2000 and Have You Ever in 2001. The only other person that has been on like 2 different Children in Need singles were Emma Bunton. She did Downtown in 2006, and then the Spice Girls did Headlines, Friendship Never Ends in 2007.
I love those songs.
But I wouldn't say that they're the same band. Like, I wouldn't do that because Emma is her own individual solo artist. So I don't give them the same credit. S Club is the only band to have 2 Children in Need singles. And
Rachel should have had a Children in Need single, shouldn't she?
Well, she did the Sports Relief single, so you were talking about...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And she did Sports Relief, so how does Sports Relief... Because Sports Relief, I think, happens in July.
No, well, I don't know really now because I'm not really looped into that, but what happened was Comic Relief was always every 2 years, and then it got to sort of the mid-2000s, I think, and they decided to bring this Sport Relief, and they did that on the alternate year, so you would have 1 year Comic Relief, 1 year Sport Relief. And again, it's kind of all to do with sport. Like, I don't know anything about sports, so I couldn't possibly comment on that bit. But yeah, and
well,
it's usually
you know that Rachel ran a mile a lot faster than I could have. This song was featured on the re-release of the 7 album, which Katey and I discussed in the 7 album review, and it also included Lately, which, as we also discussed, and I don't remember what Katey rated it, but I do not love Lately on this album.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
And then it was subsequently included on the Sunshine album. So something that's fun about the Sunshine album that we can talk more when we get to the Sunshine album is it has the most #1 singles of any S Club release. It has Don't Stop Moving, Never Had a Dream Come True, Have You Ever? And then the top 5 single, You. So we can just pretend.
Do you regard Never Had a Dream Come True as a 7 song or a Sunshine song?
So I've had this very similar thoughts, like when we come to Rachel's re-release of Funky Dory. Like, do I consider Some Girls a Funky Dory song or a Come and Get It song? I'm gonna say it's a Sunshine song. Because
I agree with that.
a lot of the S Club album are leftover track, or a lot of the 7 songs are leftover tracks from S Club. So
Okay. Really?
So we know
Mine's are so different though.
So Reach, we know, was from the S Club album because it's performed in
Yeah.
one of the specials.
Boyfriends
Yeah.
and birthdays.
Reach's song, I'll Keep Waiting, or I'll Be There, is another song because in the Miami 7 scrapbook, Nobody Does It Better is listed as a song that they're performing a reprise.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm still not convinced that's the same song.
It has the same writers, Mikay.
Well, a lot of the writers wrote on a lot of the songs.
It's valid. It's also valid. But and then like a lot of the songs just feel like on the 7 album, and like me and Katey have already discussed this, the 7 album has some very strong R&B driven songs like Natural, Cross My Heart, All in Love is Fair, Spiritual Love. And then we just have Love Train and The Color Blue and Reach. They don't fit what I believe the 7 album should be.
That's an interesting viewpoint.
I mean, it just, like, the album is just so...
Mishmash.
It's a mishmash between what Seeing Double is and what S Club is. Like, it's perfectly in the middle. And then Sunshine is just completely abandoned by the time we get to Seeing Double. Like, I think it takes it a step back to 7. I think 7 and Seeing Double are more similar than Sunshine and Seeing Double. But
Sunshine for me is like, I want to say like mainstream S Club. Like, and I know that's like weird because it's all mainstream because it was all really popular. But I always feel like Sunshine is like when S Club was at its like biggest height.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So we're at their peak with Sunshine. I do agree with that. But aesthetically, I prefer the Seeing Double album to the Sunshine aesthetics. Lyrically, I appreciate the 7 album more.
Yeah.
If we take out all the songs that aren't meant to be there in my head, like Reach.
I won't tell you that Sunshine is my least favorite album. I know.
It's fair.
I know.
It's fair. It's fair.
No, sorry, Katey. No.
It's very fair. What is your favorite album, Mikay? I want to know.
Either S Club or Sing Double.
Okay.
I absolutely loved it as a kid when, I bought 7, it was blue, and I played it a lot, and then they brought it out again, and it was purple, and it was like, I love purple, and I got that, and then I played that, and it was like, this is the best thing ever, because it's the same album, but it has one more song. I guess I was kind of like, oh yeah. Wait, which other song was on it lately?
Lately, and Never Had a Dream Come True.
Lately, yeah. And I like Lately.
There's no version of 7 that doesn't have Lately and Never Had a Dream Come True on it. Like, as a re-release. There was never just Never Had a Dream Come True.
No, but the blue one didn't have either, right?
Yeah, that was the original release.
Yeah. So I just loved that. So to me, Never Had a Dream Come True was always part of that album because there was the excitement of it, like, coming out again. And then when it was on Sunshine, like, I've already heard this song, I want new songs.
I just wish they would have done a little bit more with the re-release, because it just seems like a money grab to me.
It does, and it worked.
It did. And can we talk about the music video, like, for a moment? Because that music video was very 2000s. It's very, very 2000s. And
is that a good or bad thing?
It's very 2000s.
I have some things to say about the video.
They all look phenomenal. Like, John with his perfectly blonde hair, Rachel looking fabulous, Bradley with his curls. Like, they all look phenomenal.
The makeup was very 2000 with the nude lips. It's very 2000.
The outfits were
I could not stop staring at Joe's lips.
So
For me, I love the music video. Like, I was always fascinated with their boots when I was a kid. Like, I just thought, like, the thing I remember most is the boots, because they were, like, so oversized it hurt. Like, the thing that makes me laugh so much about the video as well is they obviously have, like, two costume, like, they've got a costume change in it, but it's only really Hannah and Rachel that you see wearing it. I think Tina briefly maybe, but it's like all of a sudden Rachel and Hannah have this, like, glow up makeover. Like, there's a great moment in the behind the scenes of Never Had a Dream Come True music video being made, where they're, like, selecting their clothes, and then Tina just has, like, such a great Tina moment where she puts on this big, like, fur coat, and it basically looks like she has, like, no pants on, and she's just like, I'm a Yeti, and then her and Hannah laugh about it, but then she doesn't end up wearing it in the music video, so it's a bit of a letdown. But yeah, I like that bit. I like the makeover bits. I like the boots. But the thing that I couldn't get over was the big coats that the guys were wearing. I think, like, when they performed it on TV, like, I watched so many performances of this, they always have these coats on, and, like, how hot TV studios can get. They must have been, like, so hot when they were performing. Anytime has been made to wear these massive winter coats with big chunky knit jumpers on underneath. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So what I was going to interject with is, do y'all remember after the 2015, or it might have been prior, but at some point Joe was selling a lot of her, like, memorabilia on eBay. Do y'all remember when she was doing that? She was just selling a lot of random stuff.
Because she was selling, like, autographs too, because I have one. Yeah.
So she actually sold that jacket from the Never Had a Dream Come True video shoot to a fan. And
how much
when they performed it on This Morning in 2017 to promote Family, she asked the fan if she could borrow it, and the fan gave it to her so she could wear it in that performance. And I just think that's so, like, if you look at the, like, it's not her coat anymore, but fans and, like, fans are awesome and let her borrow it.
It's a cool story. I never knew that.
Something that Katey and I were discussing before we started filming and before Mikay trumped in is that Never Had a Dream Come True wasn't actually as successful as, say, Bring It All Back. So, obviously, as we discussed in the beginning of the episode, we're not going to include any North American chart statistics discussion. So we've excluded Canada and the United States. If y'all would like to hear us discuss that, y'all can come back in 2 weeks. But other than Canada and North America or United States, it only charted in 7 or 6 countries. So that is a stark difference to when we talked about Bring It All Back, y'all. It did 6 countries. But it also wasn't as widespread of a single as it was because in the UK, they were promoting it for children in need. In the US, they're promoting it to have something to promote. And they were also simultaneously doing promotion for Don't Stop Moving in the UK at the same time as the US. So, again, come back to the episode talk about 6 countries. So we didn't get Germany, we didn't get Scotland, or we did get Scotland. I don't know.
We got New Zealand. We love them again.
Yeah,
No,
why is it 31? Come on. They did had such a good run.
Mikay, we've talked about it. We've talked
I've listened. I've heard it on all the episodes so far.
It gets worse. So much worse.
We had to bring on Mel to apologize.
Yeah, Mel,
really?
the whole country.
I love that.
It peaked at number 1 in the UK and Scotland. It peaked at number 2 in Ireland. It peaked at number 3 in Europe, number 10 in Sweden, and number 31 in New Zealand. So, Mikay, this is
That's a
something
9, FYI.
What?
You said 3 in Europe. That's 9.
Yeah, it was number 9. I was just going in order. Like, it was number 1 in the UK, it was number 2 in Ireland, it was number 3 in Europe, but it was actually number 9 in Europe.
But does that include like the UK and Ireland sales as well? Like if it's like
what? Hey, that's what I was going to ask you, because I don't know how Europe is different from the UK, but I do know that Europe has so when they do UK bonus tracks, it's always excluded when they do Europe tracks. So there's like European releases of singles, and then there's UK releases. So like with Sunshine, Europe didn't get Right Guy, but UK did.
There must be some sort of like licensing thing, I would think, because like politically at that time, like the UK very much was Europe. Well, it still is Europe, but you know, politically within the EU. But if you're saying that there would be different tracks for European releases as there would be UK ones, that would think to me that like from a publishing music perspective there's a difference, like legally maybe, but
I have no idea. I was hoping you could provide
the EU states. Yeah, no, we'll have to call up Polydor.
Oh yeah,
the old Polydor, and that's them.
But what something that
I emailed them plenty of times about Rain, I tell you that.
Did you? Are you the reason we got it?
No, they'd never replied to any of the emails I ever sent. But I sent hundreds to random
Did you
people.
blocked?
Who is this? Yeah.
So, like I said, they only charted with the song in 6 countries. 8 if you include Canada and the US. So 8 countries total. And that's just vastly different to like all of the previous singles and all the singles that would come after this. Like we haven't recorded Don't Stop Moving, and I don't know off the top of my head, but I assume it's more than 6 countries where it charted.
But they probably were promoting it less within the other European countries because they probably would have wanted to focus it more in the UK with it being children in need, maybe.
And honestly, I don't think S Club had this on their bingo card. Like, because if you remember, this is also the year that we got Christmas Special. And I haven't watched Christmas Special. That's something else we're supposed to be discussing in this episode, the Christmas Special. So
Perfect Christmas. Perfect.
No,
Christmas,
we were supposed to
Christmas special.
No, we were supposed to do the Christmas Special too. That's
Well,
what
I
we've
have
been
not
doing.
watched Christmas special, but I've listened.
I have not watched it either, and I did not gather any facts about it. But this is at the same time that the Christmas Special aired, but it's not in the Christmas Special. Like,
Yeah,
they don't
it
in the
must have
Christmas
just got added at the last minute.
Isn't it the theme too?
Right.
Like when they're on the merry-go-round at the very beginning?
No, that's Perfect Christmas.
No, later they do Perfect Christmas, but at the very beginning.
I think it's just the instrumental for Perfect Christmas. I don't know, Katie.
Do I need to pull it up again?
We're really unprepared to talk about the Christmas Special on this episode.
2.5 stars out of 5.
We can discuss it with Ryan if you want.
Yeah,
So we can be prepared.
We'll just Christmas Special, and the next Never Had a Dream Come True.
We can talk about Perfect Christmas because I did bring a Christmas mug.
Yes. And fun fact, I believe, before I talk about this. I have to log in. Hold on, y'all. I think this episode is actually going to air the week that Never Had a Dream Come True was actually released.
Wow.
So I believe this episode airs in November, the week of November.
Are we streaming it?
So go ahead and stream Never Had a Dream Come True, everybody. I do believe that this song was sprung on them. I think that they were toying around with it by including it in Artistic Differences and Go Wild. I think it was intended to be a single off of Sunshine.
It is the intro to Christmas special, just FYI. I just pulled it up.
Are there lyrics or is it just instrumental?
Let me hit play again. Hold on.
Chill.
But we can't discuss Perfect Christmas.
Yes, there are lyrics. They
Is it
do
the
a theme song. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It makes sense what you say though, doesn't it? Because if you kind of think about it, like Reach and Natural, like kind of catapult them even further into like popularity. And I just kind of think like if you were the producers of Children in Need, you probably were thinking, okay, well, who's the biggest band in the UK at the time? And S-Club were really, really popular in 2000, 2001. And I think they must have thought, I know, we'll ask S-Club. So they approached the management and then they said, oh yeah, we have this song. I think that's probably how it worked. Which would make sense as to why,
Because Natural was released in September and Never Had a Dream Come True was released in November. So there's only like a 2-month gap, whereas there was between April and September between Reach and Natural. So, and we also need to mention that Bring the House Down was just canceled as a single.
Oh, I'm glad about that. Sorry.
I'm not. I think, I don't know, but
Not my favorite.
Bring the House Down was intended to be a single. Like, there's promos for it. It's included on the US spine of the album. So, they canceled
I don't
that.
think it would have done as well, personally.
It's very highly promoted in all the tours.
Yeah.
It is, and the fans do like it, but I don't know, it doesn't strike me as single material, but I'm maybe biased because I find it overrated.
Yeah, well, I think they had different plans for the 7 album, and I think we talked about this a little bit in the 7 episode, but it's just weird to think they had a plan, like they had an album rollout, and then they're just like, nah.
Got scuttlebutt.
And they did the same thing again with Rachel and Funky Dory, like they had Breathe In, Breathe Out scheduled and ready to go, but they're like, no, we're doing Some Girls instead. But at least they didn't announce Bring the House Down as the single like they did Breathe In, Breathe Out. So
I guess it's just the fast-paced nature, maybe trying to just go with the
everything changes.
popularity.
Right. And like, I know we talk about this in the 7 episode as well, but Bring the House Down, they had a cover of it by the American Juniors, and they had them like deconstructing a house in the show and all that stuff, Katey. And I'm wondering if that was like if that was the intended S-Club music video theme, because it was only like
I hope not. I hope not. That would have been too lame.
Could you imagine? But yeah. So moving on from the failed third single that would have been Bring the House Down. Do you think if Never Had a Dream Come True, I think I don't know. I don't remember what we've recorded, but do you think there would have been an alternate single other than Bring the House Down that would have worked in place of, because there's not really any ballads on the album.
Good question.
Because like on the first album we have I Really Miss You, it's a Rachel ballad, but on this one we don't really have any ballads on the original release. Unless you include The Color of Blue, which as we've discussed, I despise.
I love it. It. We have such different opinions.
Terrible. You're going to hate the 7 album ranking. You're going to hate it.
Let me look at this. Oh yeah, of course. That is a really obvious one that would have been a single.
Yeah, there isn't anything.
There is. All in Love is Fair. That is like the perfect next single.
Yes, and I do agree. I do argue that in the 7 episode that it should have been a single.
Yeah,
I
think
do
so.
love it, but it doesn't. It's not a ballad. It's a mid-tempo track.
Yeah, it's slowish, but it's
similar.
It's smooth and
it's similar to
so
Natural.
Yeah, true. That's true.
So I don't know, but again, Natural didn't really work the way they wanted it to, I guess, because it was their lowest charting single at that point.
Which is nuts, isn't it? Because it's so good.
It is such a good song. We love it. So we need to talk about the B-side. Perfect. Oh, we didn't even finish talking about the charts. I'm just jumping everywhere, y'all. So Katey's favorite
Year-end chart.
Year-end chart. So it was number 9 in the UK. It was the 9th best-selling song in the United Kingdom after 1 month.
That's not bad.
It's not. Not everyone has
that's really good.
Not everyone has it at all.
Good.
So they were the 14th best-selling song in Ireland.
Cool.
So after 1 month, 14th best-selling song. Not everyone has that, Katey.
Scotland said, "Forget it."
Scotland gave up, and New Zealand was just out of the question. They were like, "We don't recognize you." And then,
I guess, I think, sorry, no, go on.
And then the last thing is the decade end chart. So we discussed this on one of the other singles. But the decade end chart runs from 2000 to 2009, and it was the 43rd best-selling single of that decade. So it was released in the first part of the decade, so the very first year that they started tracking, and it ran all the way through 2009. And it was still the 43rd best-selling single.
It's good, that, isn't it?
It is. Not everyone has that,
it's because, But I also think that that's probably because of Children in Need, because at that time, like I say, it was everywhere because it was really pushed to make the money for the charity single. Although Have You Ever did it, but we don't know where Have You Ever came, but
I don't think it was included.
No.
So the next single that I think was on the decade end chart is Don't Stop Moving, and then it was just done.
Right.
So for Justice for Alive, really. Justice for Alive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Rachel's version. Are you
Paul's
doing
version?
Are you?
I want to hear Tina's version.
I want to hear Paul's version, like Katey said, but we can discuss that in...
Yeah. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Way ahead of ourselves. So the B-side to Never Had a Dream Come True in the United Kingdom was a little track called Perfect Christmas. Katey.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's such a beautiful song. Rachel Stevens rocks my socks off in this song.
Joe sings too.
But Rachel, she really just does it on this, you know? I know we previously argued that We Can Work It Out has the best Rachel vocals of any S-Club song, but I think Perfect Christmas is a very close second. I love this song so much. I think it deserved to be released as a standalone single when they redid the albums last year. It was last year that they did that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2023, they re-released it on streaming as a standalone song. And I think that was very important. But that also means that we get to discuss what they included on the Never Had a Dream Come True digital re-release as B-sides, which are Stand By You and Spiritual Love. So...
Can I talk about Perfect Christmas first?
Of course you can. We love Perfect Christmas.
I like Perfect Christmas too as well. And it's one of those ones that always kind of seems to be featured on like Christmas compilation albums. So
I have so many.
Every so often, I don't know how this is in the US, but in the UK, like you go into supermarkets at Christmas time and it'll be playing every so often. Like, and it always catches me off guard a little bit.
You're like, wait a minute, I know that song.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
While we're talking about Perfect Christmas, I want to talk about the mutilation that the American Juniors did to Perfect Christmas when they performed it on an American Idol Christmas.
What song did they not mutilate?
Well, I was impressed that they actually sung it live. Like, I didn't expect that, to be honest.
But it's bad, Mikay.
It's all right. They're little kids. Come on, give them credit.
No.
I don't have this like hatred of American Juniors because I didn't like go through that, maybe.
Well, we had to be S-Club fans while watching them mutilate S-Club songs live on TV as if they were their own songs.
I thought she sounded quite good when she sang Never Had a Dream Come True.
Oh. But
you know, if that was your daughter, you'd be proud of her.
That's why I don't have kids, because I can't fake someone ruining my song. I can't fake. Do you have anything else to say on Perfect Christmas, Mikay? Because you seem to have a lot to say about it.
I do have one more thing to say, and it kind of links both of them. Like, obviously, Perfect Christmas was on Never Had a Dream Come True, and it was released around Christmas time, and there's snow in the video, which they choked on, by the way, when they filmed that video. I forgot to tell you that. But I never Had a Dream Come True as a Christmas song, and I think a lot of people that I know, like friends that listen to S Club as kids, they always see it as a Christmas song, and maybe we're too invested as fans to see it as that way. But like, do you see Never Had a Dream Come True as a Christmas
Absolutely
song?
No.
not. The only thing that
That's
links it
because
to
we
Christmas,
didn't get it at Christmas, so it was irrelevant to us.
Oh, yeah.
we got it in April.
You must have thought, what is that white stuff coming down on the sky?
Yeah, like
Well, I live in the Midwest. I know what the white stuff is.
I know. I don't know what it is. Why is it so beautiful there? Where are the hinges? But it's a whole different world. But yeah, I don't see it as a Christmas song, okay? I think I'm on board with you. But we also didn't get it as a Christmas single, so
But Perfect Christmas was on it, so it's kind of confusing.
no, not on our version.
We didn't get Perfect Christmas at all.
And we're talking about the UK version today, not the US version. Sorry to remind you of that.
Oh, we're being checked on our own podcast, Katie. Look at us. So the last
You're
how I
seeing
don't
again.
So the last thing I want to talk about are the covers, Katie and Mikay, because so many people think that they can hit Joe's notes. And they can't.
No.
I've compiled a list of covers of Never Had a Dream Come True. Are there any that you want to discuss outright, Mikay? Like any that stood out to you?
I mean, they're good. Like, yeah, I have a lot of same difference, just FYI. But they're good. And like, there's the one where we'll talk about it, right? The duet, like, which is like super slick. It's kind of in the style of like the old Kurt Hugo Schneider videos or whatever. And that's normally stuff that I like soak up. Like, my TikTok is always just people singing really high notes or like vocal runs or whatever. So I love all that.
Completely different notes.
But you're right.
I don't have a TikTok.
There's something about Joe's vocals on this that are just stand apart from anything. So even though the covers are great and I like them and I love, that girl had such a beautiful voice and there was great harmonies and really lovely bits in it. It still left me feeling a little bit like, but it's not Joe. That's really biased probably, but I think it's objectively true.
So something that we haven't really talked about on any of the other episodes are our versions of covers of S Club songs. So, we talked about all the covers they did at Bring It All Back.
Like if we were singing it?
Yeah. Like I've discussed this before, like on Twitter, how I always feel personally invested in the S Club songs. Like I wrote, produced, directed, like coordinated the performances. I feel like I have a hand in it, like as a fan. I don't know why, like because I bought it. I just feel
teens, yeah, maybe definitely not writing.
I mean, I don't know, but it's so weird listening to S Club versions of other songs. Like we've had the Japanese, the Korean, and they add their own spin to it. Like the Viva La Fiesta one that we did in the S Club episode.
I love that.
It's just, did you end up listening to it?
Yeah, I did. I listened to it, and I listened to it a few times actually because I really liked it.
They're really good, but again, it's just not Joe singing. So they're never going to be at the top of any of my list of versions that I'm going to go listen to. If I'm going to listen to an S Club song, I want S Club's version. I don't want the American Juniors screeching in my ear live on television.
Yeah,
I mean, if we didn't have had the S Club versions, some of these covers would be pretty good.
And
the covers.
Definitely.
Not the American Juniors, Katie.
I said some.
I mean, it's a beautiful song, isn't it? Like, everyone loves the song. Like,
and Simon Ellis, we also need to talk about Simon Ellis and Kathy Dennis really doing it for this song. Because this song, I think it put S Club in a completely different trajectory of their career. Like, I don't know when it was recorded. It had to have been done in the summer. So, because that's when Artistic Differences kind of came out. And it's just, I don't know where I was going with that thought, but Never Had a Dream Come True in my head has a special place because it's, again, the only song that I have a story about. And it's not even an interesting story, Katey.
Is it a U.S. story?
I want to hear that story, but I'm going to have the
way that was being promoted. So, yeah. So we have the Now United.
I totally agree. When I was watching some of the videos, there's a couple of things. I was looking for the Good Times version because I just, I feel like there's a moment now where because I've seen the 5-piece show so many times that I feel really emotionally connected to it. But at the encore, when the water comes down and the new version, the new mix starts and it builds so slowly, it's oh my gosh, this is unreal.
It reminds me of a Disney, I've seen at Disney the illumination, the fireworks, and it has that melody that kind of reminds me of that. But
it's so. Oh,
then they turn around and the costumes just ruin it. I'm sorry.
Then you get taken out of the moment, definitely. So there's that, and I just love hearing that new mix, and it feels really nostalgic. If I could possibly feel nostalgic for 8 months ago, but it does. But the other thing that I have to say about this is when I was looking for the Good Times version to kind of think about this, I accidentally clicked on the Bring It All Back version from 2015, thinking it was 2023. And I got really emotional. And again, I think it's probably because I'm so used to, at this moment in time, them being a 5-piece, and then seeing all 7 of them singing it and Paul getting into it and loving it. And it was really, really moving. So if you haven't seen that in a while, anyone, just go back and watch it because it's really, really powerful. And that's, again, because it's a great song. It's Joe's vocals, but it's also S-Club, isn't it? And it's just so
I don't know. Something that I've included in the covers list is the Joe O'Meara unplugged version. So we haven't had the pleasure of talking about Joe's solo album because that's several years, and that's 22 years into the future from what we're talking about right now. So it'll be a while before we get there. But how did y'all feel about Joe unplugging these, including them on her second album, With Love, which is available now on streaming? How did y'all feel about the unplugged versions? It wasn't on, Never Had a Dream Come True wasn't on the album. We got Don't
That's what I
Stop
was
Moving
going to say. I got Don't Stop Moving.
Never Had a Dream Come True was the COVID one, wasn't it? It was during lockdown, and I think she released it as a
standalone.
I'm in my house, is what I'm going to do kind of thing, which I love. I don't mind unplugged versions of ballads. I don't like unplugged versions as much of tempos, so I can take or leave the Don't Stop Moving one, but Never Had a Dream Come True one's great because it's just her singing, which is what we love.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and this kind of goes in with what she was planning to do with her unplugged album. I don't love it. I don't love it at all.
What, you don't Never Had a Dream Come True unplugged, or the idea of an unplugged album?
I don't either. I don't like either.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever actually listened to Joe's version all the way through, like the unplugged version. I'm just going to run through a list of people who have covered it notably. So we're not going to delve too deep into them. So Now United, who opened for the Good Times tour, they did it.
Let's talk about Now United.
We can talk about the Now United version. So something that, before Mikay talks about it, Now United existed as a 14-piece band before what we got on the UK Good Times opening tour. None of the members that performed on the Now United version of Never Had a Dream Come True exist in the current band.
No, that's not true.
Okay, one of them does.
No, there's a few of them. In the video that you sent me, there's a few of them. There's the blonde-haired one from Germany. There's Lamar from the UK. I'm a Now United fan now since the Good Times tour.
Sorry. Noah and Annie.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Yeah, there's a couple of them on.
And they're the guys making singing. They're the ones making singing the song.
Yeah, the guy and the girl, they're not in it now. Yeah.
So, go ahead. What do you have to say about Never Had a Dream Come True?
I love Now United, honestly. And I know it's, not really an opinion that people who saw Good Times think because they mimed and, it was a bit thingy. But, I think their music is unbelievable. I just love it. So, them singing Never Had a Dream Come True for me was so good.
Their music is good. They have a lot of high energy. I just didn't like the performance part of it.
Because they mimed.
Yeah, it was just too obvious. But
Yeah,
the
I get
music
that.
is catchy, and I applaud their dancing. Like,
The vocals are so good as well. Like that
Yes.
that female
No.
singer who I don't know her name is just great.
Her name's Annie. It's Any. It's kind of like Amy,
Okay.
except
Where's
it's
she from?
Amy. I want to say New Zealand. I could be
I
wrong.
am that, by the way, for people listening, because like every member is from a different country. Like not just because I'm like interested in where she's from.
So she was born in Brazil. She's Brazilian.
Oh,
way off.
So
she's
yeah,
amazing. The only thing about the only thing that I didn't really like about that version was they changed the lyrics to make it not about a love song and more about like a friendship song, which is kind of on brand for S Club, but it doesn't work as well for me.
Yeah, it doesn't work as well. And Annie, she was actually signed to Simon Fuller's record label. So after she left Now United, she did sign with them. I don't know if anything's become of that, but she really is phenomenal. I've always loved her. I've been a fan of Now United since they announced the band because I kind of follow anything that Simon Fuller's involved with. So I like some of their early stuff, like Summer in the City and All Day. Like those are really good.
Great songs.
So
Never heard of him. Sorry.
I've regularly listened to them now after the Times Square. So good.
I just I don't know. So I don't know if y'all watched the World of S Club interview that we did with them, but they did mention that S Club was originally intended to be an interchangeable band, which is what they did with Now United. So I think Now United is a continuation of S Club. So if you're an S Club fan, I do recommend that you get into it because this is probably what S Club would be if they would have stayed on course with their original intentions. So
imagine if it was and it was still going now, 20 years later. That's like great, weird thought.
Like, and Now United have been going strong for several years. They debuted in 2017, so we're not at quite 10 years yet, but they're still going. So, like, good for them. Okay, so the next cover that we have is the American Juniors. We've already discussed that they should not be singing it.
No.
The next one...
I love your hatred of this. It's great.
It's just so terrible. And the next one is the duet version. We're talking about the Austin Brown and McKenna Hartline one. So they're the ones that kind of did a very stripped down version of it, and it's very folky, I would say.
Yeah, and it was just like really beautiful vocals, like great harmonies, like but yeah,
it was very fun. The next one, and that one was released just last year in 2023. So like this song is actively being covered to present day. Like, and the Now United version was in 2022. The next cover is Shannon and Keist. I don't recall this one, Mikay. Do you remember anything on it?
Did I watch that one? Did you put that in the?
Yeah, I just copied and pasted the same list. So someone named Shannon and Keist released it in 2022. It does not stand out in my memory.
No, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that one. I think
we'll still watch them, and it's fine. And then same difference. They performed it on the X Factor season 4. I didn't watch this, Mikay. So did you want to?
Yeah,
He has some comments I could see from his face.
Same difference. We're just like, I loved them actually. Like, it was the year after Leona Lewis, so X Factor was like really like full steam ahead. And like these two guys, like this guy and a girl came on. They were siblings, but they always used to sing like love songs. So they always got a bit of mad media press coverage around like how we had the same difference from singing all these songs. And they made it really far. They got into the final. Mm-hmm. And I loved them. I absolutely loved them because, you know, it was bubblegum pop and like I was really into that. And I loved their high energy. But well, you wouldn't expect them to get into the final because people just didn't like them. And even when you watch like when they sang Never Had a Dream Come True, which isn't that great of a cover, let's be honest. And she's crying and getting really tearful at the end because, you know, she's overwhelmed by the performance. And then Louis Walsh just says, well, you know, you're great, but you're not the best singers in the competition. And then I think that just like pushed her a bit over the edge. But, you know, I loved Same Difference. And they had an album or two afterwards, and then they went their separate ways. And I don't know where they are now, but if we're talking about them as a group, love. If we're talking about their cover, I've Never Had a Dream Come True, not so great. And I think it was like in a Christmas week as well, which again, we're against.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so that is all we have with Never Had a Dream Come True episode, UK version. Do y'all have any final thoughts?
I need to think about it.
I'll have more thoughts in the US because we have personal experience.
Yeah. I hope I haven't taken over. I'm trying to think there was other things that I wanted to say.
One thing before we close while McKay thinks about what he wants to talk about. I want to talk about how the UK single cover is the US cover of Natural. Y'all couldn't have gotten your own individual cover?
Oh yeah, because Natural came out first, right?
Yeah, Natural came out here in October, I believe. No, I don't know when it came out in America. But all I'm saying is that the UK cover for Never Had a Dream Come True was the US cover for Natural. So we got it on October 31st in America. And then it was reused not even a month later for the UK version of Never Had a Dream Come True, which was released on November 27th of 2000. So I need to know why the UK sucks with...
Well, the US sucked for Never Had a Dream Come True, so we can discuss that next week.
We're talking about that next week. But,
well, maybe...
Why were they lazy? Why couldn't they have done any photo shoot?
I think it's because they love roundabouts.
Merry-go-round. Anyone? Now all of the episodes with McKay talk about roundabouts. So...
This is a UK episode, though, so he can say what he wants to say.
Thank you, Katey.
Roundabouts, yes, but we need to translate it to those unfamiliar. It is a merry-go-round. So, yeah, and we'll talk more about the US version of Never Had a Dream Come True, that single cover. I'm sure that'll be its own 15-minute discussion. So be sure to check that out in 2 weeks. But McKay, did you think of anything you wanted to say about the Never Had a Dream Come True?
I didn't. I think I got through everything that I wanted to say. Just, I don't know. Never Had a Dream Come True is a classic S Club song.
It is. I would argue it's the first classic S Club song.
Yeah, but that's because me and you both hate Reach.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah.
I love Reach. Justice for Reach.
So if you would like to follow McKay, you can follow him on the World of S Club Discord at join.sclub.org. And he also handles the World of S Club socials from time to time. So just follow
the UK ambassador.
The UK ambassador.
Affiliate.
You can follow Katey at Katey_Carmen, and you can follow me at World of S Club on everything. Be sure to rate the podcast. We really appreciate the person who gave us a 2.5. It really drives us.
Appreciate that.
We do appreciate it because it made us do better. We appreciate all the comments. We do take them into consideration, which is why our mics now work. So we're very proud.
If you could, like, label the 2.5 star review with any S Club song, which one would it be?
Reach. Out of 5.
What do you mean labeled it?
No, I mean, like, if you could describe the whole situation of getting a 2.5 star review with the title of an S Club song, what would it be?
All in Love is Fair.
Good choice. I was thinking Dangerous.
No, because I mean, I'm not mad about it. I wish they would have left like comments so I can know why we deserved a 2.5. But you know, it is what it is.
How about you?
There's no real angry S Club songs.
No.
Show me your colors.
Yeah,
I do it lately because I say goodbye.
Yeah. Don't listen anymore. I'm just kidding. Keep listening. But I would say all of us fair because if we're going to put ourselves out there, we need to accept the criticism.
Right.
So all in podcasting is fair. Go listen to Never Had a Dream Come True. Go listen to Perfect Christmas. Go leave us a rating that isn't 2.5. And if you do leave a 2.5 rating, leave comments. We know how to do better. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Can I come back for a Sunshine episode?
Of course. Of course you can. I don't know which one, but yeah.
You're listening to the S Club Beat with Dale and Katey.